Hey guys, it's Troy here with a Mario Kart DS Top 10 Tracks video. This is a game I haven't played in a very long time, aside from Mission Mode a couple of years ago on the channel. And growing up, this was honestly probably my favorite game in my elementary school and middle school days. Got it when I was in 5th grade, and I played it all the way up until 8th grade when Mario Kart Wii came out. Now, I'm playing it on the Wii U, so the controller is very hard to use, but I'm still able to demonstrate some cool shortcuts and techniques in this video, so I hope you enjoy. This was a game that I really wish I was able to upload more videos of on my channel because it is such an incredible game. As you can see, we're on Donut Plains 1 for number 10, and I am demonstrating a technique called PRBing, Prolonged Rocket Boosting. What it does is you can maintain that start boost, which gave you off-road invincibility in Mario Kart DS, by continually mini-turboing before your boost runs out and chaining them on top of each other, one after another, and you're able to avoid all off-road like speed loss. So I had it for the first half of the first lap, and then I lost it. As you can see, I'm actually going at regular speed over the dirt there, but that technique can be applied to like every track, and I thought that was so fun to learn the different PRB strats. They're very tricky. Now this is Mario Circuit 1. As you can see right here, I am PRBing this entire lap, which is pretty difficult to do, and you should see the people who have world records in this game. They do it so much faster than me, like you have no idea. But yeah, it's been a few years since I've played this game. My skills have not improved at all. But yeah guys, so this game, this is the first Mario Kart track in the first Mario Kart game, Mario Circuit 1, and it was 5 laps back then. And it's such a classic. I have the layout ingrained in my brain. I'll never forget it. And this is what started it all. I played Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo when I was a little kid, and this was the very first track I ever played, so it always will have a special place for me. And it fits the mechanics of this game perfectly. It's so fun just to snake and PRB the whole thing. Now for Rainbow Road, I'm normally not a fan of Rainbow Road tracks in Mario Kart games, believe it or not, but this one is incredible. It is extremely difficult, and probably a little less difficult than the Double Dash one. The Double Dash one's really hard, but it's so easy to fall off on it. And we have loops, we have corkscrews, we have giant jumps, and then we have lots of crazy shortcuts and glitches, which I'm going to share the most important ones to know. There's probably like 5 or 6 different shortcuts in this level, but they're really hard. Like you can even on the first loop you can actually ride the rail and skip the entire loop, and that was called the Husky 217, like Rail Ride Supreme or something like that. And I was never able to do that shortcut. However, that shortcut got outclassed by this one right here, and this is crazy. Look at that. You can do that shroomless, and you can skip the entire helix of the turn and the entire loop, and it looks so awesome. Very hard to do though. Looks much harder. Looks much easier than it is. And then this right here is it's a respawn glitch. I mean, I kind of wish it wasn't in the level because it allows you to skip the section between the loop and the corkscrew, and I love that part of the level, so I'm not a huge fan of that one, but those two shortcuts together make it so you can complete laps on that track in like under 40 seconds, which is pretty nuts. Now Yoshi Circuit was stripped of everything from the GameCube version, unfortunately. It just visually, it's missing a lot of the details it had, and then they took out the tunnel shortcut. It just feels like a shell of its former self. And honestly, that being said, it's still one of my favorite tracks in this game. Yeah, I mean, I loved it in Double Dash. The shortcut was hard in Double Dash. Like, you could actually do it trimless, but it was insanely difficult. In this game, doing the shortcut trimless is so easy. I'm gonna actually demonstrate in a minute how you can do it without even jumping on 150cc. Like, look at that. That's so silly. But regardless if they stripped everything or not, the layout is still great, and I even love it more in Mario Kart 8 than I do in Double Dash, despite them taking out the tunnel. But yeah, definitely the weakest of the 3 Yoshi Circuit layouts, but still great regardless. Now Tick-Tock Clock, what I love about it is how similar all of the track like in appearance looks to how it did in Super Mario 64. Because in Super Mario 64 they have an actual stage called Tick-Tock Clock, and the way they incorporate like the gears turning and like the clock hands as obstacles, and then the spinners that you get to like propel yourself off of at the end of the level. You'll see in a second. It's so cool. Unfortunately, they kind of took away the whole look of Tick-Tock Clock in Mario Kart 8. It doesn't look anything like the Super Mario 64 level, but that's kind of what Mario Kart 8 did in general. They kind of changed the outlook of the retro tracks to make them feel like new tracks. That's a cool little glitch. You can actually propel yourself through the floor. I always loved doing that when I messed around. There was a lot of cool glitches in this game. Now, Hausers Castle on the DS, and this right here is probably my second favorite Hausers Castle, maybe my third. I'm not entirely sure right now, but I do like it more than the Hausers Castle in Mario Kart 7 and 8. Not as much as the one in Wii, and actually I like it a little bit more than the one in GameCube. The first time you get to this right here, there's this log and it's spinning, and you fall off it every time because you're like, oh my gosh, and then you fall to the bottom. You have no idea where to go for a second, and that's such a shock feeling. It's a Special Cup course, and it feels like a Special Cup course. There's a lot of elements on this track that you don't see in other tracks beforehand, and it really catches you off guard. So yeah, very difficult track, and the shortcut you got to do every lap because you don't need a mushroom. Once you discover it, you're doing it all the time. And then this one right here on lap 3, you always want to go between those two walls and then jump and skip the last turn. Really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in the Mario Kart Wii custom track anymore. I don't know why. Alright, we're on number 4 right now, and this is Mario Circuit. In my opinion, this is the best Mario Circuit track in any Mario Kart game. I absolutely love the layout of this one. It's a Star Cup track, so it's a little more difficult than the other Mario Circuits from other Mario Kart games. It's got like the tunnel, just like the Mario Raceway did. It's got some lights in it, looks a little bit prettier. And then it's got the castle from Mario 64, or Royal Raceway you could say. But the whole thing is very diverse. A lot of the Mario Circuits feel repetitive when you play them, especially like the Mario Kart 8 one or the Mario Kart Wii one. They're just like figure eights practically. But this one right here had a really dynamic layout. And color-wise, like this game obviously is very simple graphically, but this one had a lot of colors and a lot of extra scenery. It just, I don't know, I dig it, you know what I mean? And the shortcut here is insanely hard. It might look easy right there, but oh my gosh, that is such a crazy shortcut. You gotta be so precise on that, but you can skip that turn. Really cool. Bet you guys didn't know that one. Now, Wario Stadium was my favorite track to play online because online was 100cc in Mario Kart DS, and this track was really difficult. This is a Special Cup track, and I remember you can actually go off this last boost panel right here, and then you could PRB, and you'd be able to skip all this mud. Now, this is 150cc, and my skills aren't what they used to be, so I am not going to demonstrate it, but just want to let you guys know that. And you guys probably saw in the last Mario Circuit track, I was able to PRB on lap 1 all the way through the shortcut, which is pretty cool. So lots of cool PRBing stuff in this video. I just do the simplest ones though. There's some crazy complex PRB strats. And obviously you got a snake everywhere. But I was so happy when I saw this track. It wasn't the same as the Wario Stadium in the N64 version, because that one was a little bland for me, and this one is a lot more interesting. There's an out of bounds glitch, which is really cool. You can actually get in an area you weren't intended to, and it allows you to skip a whole turn. So that shortcut, very useful, but you can only do it on 150cc. Now we're at number 2, we're almost at the end, and this is my favorite retro track out of all of them. Sky Garden, a little bit of PRBing right here, able to skip all that, and it's crazy. People can actually PRB the entire lap on this track. Now right here, you always want to do the shortcut if you don't have a mushroom, because it's incredibly easy once you get the hang of it, and it'll skip a turn for you. Now this one is another necessity. Don't even go to the vine bridge. Just go to the clouds, and you don't even have to jump over those little gaps. You just have to keep mini turboing and just ignore the little gaps. Now, Sky Garden was one of my favorite tracks in the GBA version. It got even better in Mario Kart DS. And this shortcut right here is what makes the level. You gain so much time there, so if you have a mushroom, you just gotta time it, a little gap jump, kind of like the Mushroom Gorge one in Mario Kart Wii, and super helpful. What's crazy is you can even do it shroomless. So difficult, but sometimes you gotta go for it on lap 3, you know what I mean? If you're behind by too much. And then this is a cool little glitch right here. You can skip to the end of the lap just by jumping off right there. And it actually only saves like a second or so it's not as good as it looks, but it could win you a race at the end. So really cool track. And obviously number 1 is Delfino Square. The moment I played this track, it was my favorite track in any Mario Kart game ever. That's how much I love Delfino Square, and I was absolutely thrilled when it got brought back in Mario Kart Wii. Now, I don't know, just snaking through the narrow town section and then you're brought upon like the dock and the shops and all the shortcuts, and then after that you have the boost bridge. The whole layout, just I absolutely love it. It's one of the best track creations Nintendo's ever made, in my opinion. And yeah, I also have some fond memories discovering all the shortcuts on this track with friends. Like, it took me a while to even discover the dirt shortcut, but what's funny is I actually discovered this dock shortcut before the dirt shortcut, and this one's a lot more hidden because there's no really indicators to show you it's a shortcut. You kind of got to figure it out. And then what's cool is the double shortcut in this game is actually really difficult. There's no trick ramp, so you actually have to time your jump and propel yourself to the mud. Very little room for air, so it's really rewarding when you make the shortcut. So those are my top 10 favorite tracks. I hope you enjoyed all the knowledge I was able to drop in that short amount of time. Mario Kart DS was one of my favorite games growing up. If you haven't ever played it, give it a try. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know. This was a lot of fun for me to make. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys are doing well, and be sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed. Alright,